Hello guys, it's One Piece Day again. Welcome to my channel and let's talk about Roronoa Zoro vs King, but before anything else, please click the bell, like, share and subscribe Anime Jack. Thank you. In One Piece manga chapter 1033, the most awaited showdown between Roronoa Zoro and King in Onigashima comes to an end. Which side are you? Zoro was struggling to control his sword Inma, which had started draining his haki uncontrollable. On top of this, he was constantly be attacking by King, who had yet to take any significant damage. Zoro takes this opportunity to get in a direct hit. Zoro managed to land one sword-style Death Lion Song attack on King, but it had little to no effect. King launched a counter-attack, once again stretches his head back and unleashes an Imperial Deep Pride Stake attack. Zoro tries to use Inma, but it starts draining his haki again. The attack hits Zoro and destroys the nearby cliffs, nearly sending Zoro flying away and falling off the island. King mocks Zoro for not being able to control his own sword as the swordsman begins the one being held. As he falls, he sees Sandai Kaititsu and thinks back to when he first received it and when he learned that Tenguyama created it. The Sandai Kaititsu is one of the grade swords. Like all of its predecessor Kaititsu swords, this one is said to be cursed. King takes a chance to immediately kick Zoro to the ground, mocking him for risking his life for a sword. Zoro looks up and saw Wado Ikimonji sticking up from the ground. While reaching for his sword, he remembers when he made his vow to become the world's greatest swordsman after Kuina's death. The Wado Ikimonji is a sword of great personal importance to Roronoa Zoro, and it once belonged to Kuina and her family. It is also one of the 21 great grade swords. After Kuina's death, Zoro asked for it from her father, who then gave the sword to him. He also remembers what Tenguyama had said about Wado Ikimonji, that it was forged by the same man that forged Inma, the great Shimatsuki Kozaburo. Inma is one of the 21 great grade swords. Inma yields tremendous power and sharpness when fully mastered. Tenguyama Hitetsu has described Inma as able to cut through to the bottom of hell. Suddenly comes to his mind. How did a Wano sword get to the East Blue? While King launches another attack. He tries to block it, but it's sent flying again. His mind begins putting the pieces together. Momonosuke explains that he was told to never say Tsunachi. We learn that there was an elderly man living in the village Zoro grew up in who would sit by the coast. He was Kuina's grandfather, though Zoro didn't learn this until after he had passed. He remembers that Tenguyama told that the great swordsmith Shimatsuki Kozaburo illegally left Wano 50 years ago. 13 years before the present battle, a young Zoro was training at the dojo and the old man said Tsunachi was a word that could fill one's heart with strength. Zoro asked the old man if he was really a samurai, but the man refused to answer because the Marines would come after him. The man observed Zoro as he practiced on his own outside of the dojo after losing to Kuina again. He gives Zoro 2 swords to use for training before explaining that swords are meant to cut people down and that when created, the smith makes sure they can kill as many people as possible. Each sword is different and it is up to the swordsman to master them. He declares that the weak spread nonsense that deadly swords are cursed. On that note, he talks about he created a sword in his youth that was named after the Lord of the Underworld. Zoro realized that he was wielding the same blade the old man spoke of. He concludes that the man was indeed the great swordsmith Shimatsuki Kozaburo. Inma is testing him, and he hasn't been living up to its expectations. He rises to his feet with renewed determination. As a group of Animal Kingdom pirates decide to gang up on him alongside King, he figures out that he's meant to continue feeding the sword his haki. He begins emitting Conqueror's haki, knocking out the lower-ranking pirates. King asks him if he also has intentions of being a king, and Zoro confirms this, recounting the promise he made to Luffy. King being noticeably bleeding from his face after the last attack. Zoro realizes that when the flame on King's back disappears, his movement speed increased but defensive abilities decreases, then the real face of King is finally revealed. The subordinates then start talking about what they saw, with King being confirmed to be part of the Lunaria tribe. Physical characteristics of the Lunaria tribe are explained, as well as that informing the government on their location gives a 100 million reward. Enraged, King destroys Kaido's subordinates who were talking about the Lunaria tribe, using an Imperial Flame Dragon attack. Zoro and King continue fighting, both using extremely powerful attacks, which are each having an impact on the other. The two are arguing back and forth during the battle, with King transforming into a pteranodon to attack from the sky. King also uses a new attack called Imperial Flame Guardian Dragon, to which Zoro responds with King of Hell, 3 Dragon's Sword. Zoro lands his attack, cutting King's sword in half and slicing through his right wing. Zoro won the battle versus King, declaring him the King of Hell. That's all for today. Hope you enjoyed it. See you next time for another One Piece episode.